Today we're diving into a fascinating paper that explores the computational power of transformers when equipped with a chain-of-thought mechanism. This technique allows transformers to generate intermediate steps before arriving at a final answer, potentially unlocking greater reasoning abilities. What are the key findings of this paper?
The paper investigates how the number of intermediate steps, or chain-of-thought steps, impacts the computational power of a transformer decoder. It finds that the expressive power of transformers increases significantly with the number of steps.
That's intriguing. Can you elaborate on the different regimes of intermediate steps explored in the paper?
The paper focuses on three main regimes: logarithmic steps, linear steps, and polynomial steps. Logarithmic steps, where the number of steps grows logarithmically with the input size, provide only a slight increase in power compared to transformers without intermediate steps.
So, a logarithmic number of steps doesn't seem to offer a significant advantage. What about linear steps?
Linear steps, where the number of steps grows linearly with the input size, offer a more substantial boost in power. The paper shows that transformers with linear steps, under certain architectural assumptions, can recognize all regular languages.
That's a significant leap in capability. What are these architectural assumptions?
The key assumption is the use of projected prenorm, a slight generalization of standard prenorm. This allows each layer of the transformer to apply a linear projection before layer normalization, enabling more flexible computations.
So, linear steps with projected prenorm enable transformers to recognize regular languages. What about polynomial steps?
Polynomial steps, where the number of steps grows polynomially with the input size, push the limits of transformer power even further. The paper demonstrates that transformers with polynomial steps and projected prenorm can recognize exactly the class of polynomial-time solvable problems, denoted as P.
That's a remarkable result. It means that transformers with polynomial steps become equivalent to Turing machines in terms of their computational power. What are the implications of this finding?
This finding suggests that transformers with sufficient computational resources, in terms of both model size and the number of intermediate steps, can potentially solve any problem that can be solved by a classical computer in polynomial time.
That's a powerful statement. However, the paper also highlights limitations. What are the limitations of transformers with intermediate steps?
The paper establishes upper bounds on the computational power of transformers with intermediate steps. For instance, transformers with linear steps, even with projected prenorm, are still limited to recognizing context-sensitive languages. They cannot recognize all context-free languages, which are known to be more complex.
So even with linear steps, transformers are still limited in their ability to handle complex language structures. What about the upper bound for transformers with logarithmic steps?
Transformers with logarithmic steps are limited to recognizing languages in the complexity class L, which is a class of problems solvable in logarithmic space. This means they cannot solve problems that require more space, such as directed graph connectivity or Horn formula satisfiability.
It seems that the number of intermediate steps plays a crucial role in determining the computational power of transformers. What are the key takeaways from this paper?
The paper provides a nuanced understanding of how the length of a transformer's chain of thought impacts its reasoning power. It shows that a logarithmic chain of thought doesn't offer much additional power, while a linear chain significantly expands the capabilities of transformers.
This paper provides a valuable framework for understanding the computational power of transformers with intermediate steps. What are the potential implications of these findings for future research?
This research opens up new avenues for exploring the potential of transformers for complex reasoning tasks. It suggests that further investigation into the use of intermediate steps, particularly linear and polynomial steps, could lead to significant advancements in the field of natural language processing.
The paper also mentions the importance of projected prenorm for achieving these results. Could you elaborate on the significance of this architectural assumption?
Projected prenorm allows each layer of the transformer to selectively apply layer normalization to a subset of its input. This enables more flexible computations and allows the transformer to effectively store and retrieve information across different positions in the input sequence.
This is a fascinating insight. It seems that the choice of architectural components can have a significant impact on the computational power of transformers. What are the potential challenges in implementing these findings in practice?
One challenge is the computational cost associated with running a large number of intermediate steps. While the paper demonstrates the theoretical potential of transformers with chain of thought, implementing these techniques in practice requires careful consideration of computational resources and efficiency.
This was a very insightful discussion on the expressive power of transformers with chain of thought. Thank you for sharing your expertise.